to not fit in is actually your superpower, because it separates you from all those other brands and personal brands, and it makes you unique in people's head. And if you put on a mask, then that's going to be very hard in the long term to monetize. And also there's no point trying to be politically correct about everything and pleasing everyone. Your audience is not everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered, where I'm basically talking about content creation, personal branding in a way where I really just, speak my mind. And today I want to talk about how you not fitting in is actually your superpower. It's okay to not fit in. And the reason why I want to quickly touch on that is because I see that there is, many people who struggle with the idea to step in front of, the camera or, go on social media and actually share something that is maybe a bit, polarizing and not in the favor of pleasing everyone, basically. So the biggest advantage you have is to be as authentic as possible. And to not fit in is exactly that, because you are becoming vulnerable. You share stories of your life that are maybe not, meant to be out there because they might seem a bit too private. However, that can be a very big factor to, attract people that are like-minded and that have, the same kind of idea of how life maybe should be or how they want to live their life. If you're just sharing content for the sake of sharing content, then you will not find your audience, because nobody can identify themselves and nobody can really relate with your content. And that is a very huge step you need to kind of take when it comes to building your personal brand, because this will be one of your pillars, so to speak, that makes this brand you're creating you. And it's not about, attacking people or being very controversial about everything, but you need to take a stance in something so the people who really want to become your fans know that they can, trust you, and also they can relate with you, right? Because there's no point, trying to be politically correct about everything and pleasing everyone, because your audience is not everyone. You have to identify your audience, and then once you have a product, you can offer that to them. However, they are not just going to buy from you, because you're most likely not going to have a product that is incredibly revolutionary. And if you have, then you're going to have a winner probably anyway. But it's important that you understand that the people buy from you because you are you. The same product is probably available somewhere else with another face, and they buy their audience from those personal brands. They will buy from them, not from you, because they can relate with them. Maybe they are into, running marathons, and they now can relate with that, and they feel more connected to that personal brand, and that's why they want to buy from them, because it's just all about lifestyle at the end. In my case, I like to travel, and I also like to make my videos look cinematic and have nice compositions in a way. And this is how I might attract my audience, because that is where now I have something that we, the person watching and myself have in common. And that person now is okay, yeah, I really want to also create cinematic content. At the same time, traveling is my thing. And also he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to content creation and social media. Boom, there is my audience. There is my target group. There is my one persona I'm targeting, basically. This is what you also need to be comfortable or become comfortable with when it comes to building your own personal brand. If you are into kite surfing, at the same time you like cooking, and you also happen to know how to repair vans, well, then that is a very specific audience you are targeting. However, it makes you you, and you don't have to force content because you're going to create around your interests now and not around something you have no clue, but you know that maybe that has worked for someone else. And by sharing stories, personal stories, by being vulnerable, by, taking a stance and not always being politically correct, you polarize and you will attract the people that are now actually having the same kind of worldview about things and want to buy from you at the end. This is what we are aiming for. We are aiming for a target group that can identify themselves with the content we make, and also who have a certain, problem that we can provide a solution for. And that is where you need to think long term, and you really need to be like, yes, this is how I am going to portray myself, because that's actually me. And if you put on a mask, then that's going to be very hard in the long term to monetize and also to build trust and credibility, because no one is probably going to take you seriously because they can see through that mask. Maybe not in the first piece of content, maybe not in the second piece of content, but at some point when you are fucking up basically and you say something that is completely not what you used to stand for, then they will be like, aha, okay, that person is actually full of shit. So make sure to identify what you want to, stand for, what your skills are and interests, and then, communicate that, help people, share value, obviously, that's a given. And then people will ultimately buy from you, because to not fit in is actually your superpower, because it separates you from all those other brands and personal brands. And, it makes you unique in people's head, and they will be like, hey, that's that person. And that's why I really like that person. And that's why I come back to that person. And, I want to know more and learn more and all that stuff. So I hope this was helpful, and, leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe if you want to, follow along for more content like this. And I will see you in the next episode of Unfiltered.